Welcome to Zest with me, Shel Marie, the podcast that'll take you on a journey from the hustle to the harmony, fueling your passion whilst finding your peace. Today, it's an absolute honor to welcome a guest whose powerful presence alone feels like a transmission, Dr. DeAngelo Richardson. DeAngelo is one of those rare people who doesn't just chase visibility, yet somehow becomes unforgettable. As a global educator, legacy-driven leader, author, publisher, executive mentor, and visionary builder of systems that are designed to outlive him, his work spans continents, classrooms, boardrooms, and hearts. But more than that, I am proud to call him my friend. Through his devotion to leadership, education, faith, and so much more, he invites us into a deeper conversation about what it truly means to build legacy, not just success, but to lead with values that create lasting impact, that transcends time, and to live in service of something far greater than ego or applause. And in today's conversation, I'm sure we'll be exploring questions like, what does it look like to lead without being seen? How do you build systems and lives rooted in purpose, integrity, and God-led vision? And what happens when success is no longer the destination, but the byproduct? And if you feel called, I invite you to share a little love by helping amplify our guests' voices by subscribing for future episodes. It costs you absolutely nothing, but it allows this powerful episode and all the powerful episodes that are following this and the wisdom shared here to reach many more hearts. So thank you if you have done so already. And may this episode bring you clarity, conviction, and a deeper remembrance of who you are here to be. And trust me when I say this, prepare to be left truly inspired. Welcome. Oh, I don't normally for my other guests, because I always feel like, when you haven't met someone and you kind of log on and then the camera's already on, it's kind of like, I feel like people don't show up as their true selves because it's like they know they're being monitored. Monitored, but you know what I mean? Whereas I always never do it to start with them, and then I always, like, once I feel like we've had a chat or something, then I turn it on. Just I think, you should let people get to know you first. Yeah.
But that makes for a better, more personable experience. It's like even doing anything on any stage or platform, if you can't show up as yourself, then you may as well not show up at all, because people can read you. They know what's in front of them. Definitely. So to show up on a platform and not allow people to get to know you, it just takes away from the reason as to why you're there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
It's funny that we're talking about that, because when we were doing the email ad campaigns for the book, a lot of people was freaking out, like, why is he telling us so much about his personal life? Because I don't want to, when I show up on stage speaking or doing keynotes or everything, I don't want anybody to think that I'm there and I just got it all figured out. Like, no, you're reading these emails so you can find out more about who I am and what I've gone through and what I'm experiencing. Because when I speak, I want to connect with an audience that actually understands me, not my product or my branding. Like, no, you're not paying me to show up to sell you something. You're paying me to show up to tell you about a real life experience. If it's not real, it's not real.
That reaction is a blessing, because that confirms a lot. Oh, why is he doing that? That means you're going against the grain. And that shows, like what we say, leaders lead. And that doesn't mean like it's always comfortable, but you have to, if everyone's just going to do the same thing all the time, then where's the change? Exactly.
It's like, there's no joy, there's no fun, there's no creativity in following the crowd. Like, someone has to make a decision to stand out. And when I used to be on LinkedIn, because they booted me off of LinkedIn. Apparently I'm a violation to some type of safety. So I don't know, but I tell the truth. So I guess I go against the grain so much and it's so interesting, Shel. Like, I'm gonna tell you what's funny about it. I'll try to create an account with every email domain I have from every different part of my company, right? And every account that I create, they end up kicking me off. So it's like, all right, well, okay, what did I do this time? So, but if you're not getting people uncomfortable, then you're babysitting.
Yeah. And also, you've always got to question the resistance. Why is there resistance? Because there's, like, obviously not at the same level as that, but for example, Zest, this to me right now is my baby, and it's like something I, love to do. And it's ironic that I constantly have faced nothing but technical issues. Whereas, there's other people that probably, it's just something they do or something, everything is perfect. But this is something that, for my mindset, is something that I like. I don't see this as work. I see this as something I value that contributes like really powerfully towards my day. And yeah, it's like, if it's not the visual, it's the sound. If it's not the sound, it's the connection. I've got to a point now, obviously we can never, technology is technology, it will do what it wants to do. But it was really funny because I'd finally sorted out like a solution. And I knew I'd find a solution, but it just took longer than I wanted. And then I was sharing it with the lady, and I said, by the way, you're like my guinea pig today, because I think I found a solution, but I don't know until we start the episode. So she was laughing. And then fire alarm goes off, this goes off, someone starts drilling, and I went, what is happening? But luckily they all stopped. We were just laughing. We were just like, and then even that particular episode, we were supposed to connect last year, and we kept missing each other. And so we were just saying, it's really interesting, and it was a really powerful episode. But yeah, it was just, I don't know, I think people too often, and you will understand this, I think people too often focus on the problem, but they don't think deeper than the problem of, okay, but why is there this issue right now? Because there's something that, I think anyone after nearly, I don't know, probably 4 months of constantly this or constantly that, would probably say, do you know what, maybe I'm not supposed to be doing this. Maybe it's not for me, because they didn't really want to do it in the first place. Whereas I was like, okay, go to the provider. Okay, that's fine. Go to this one, try a different provider, try a different network, try this. And, I almost exhausted my options. And then it was ironic, ChatGPT found the solution. Because I put in everything. I literally made a list of every single thing I'd done. And they were like, as if it's a real thing. Okay, she's in the house. Get the notes. Okay. It said it recommended other solutions, and it worked.
Yeah. As you were saying that, it reminds me of, when people look for solutions, it's almost as if, are they looking for a solution to a real problem, or are they looking for a solution to a problem that they created within their own minds? And when we find problems, because and you will understand this as well, when you understand, or when we begin to understand the root of a problem, it should make us want to figure out why. I think that we live in a world where people aren't asking a lot of why questions and just going with the flow of everything, as if, well, this is the way it is, or this is the way it has always been, or this is the way it will always be. No, there can be change. There should be change, but there can't be change unless we want to know why the problem exists and how to effectively change it, how to effectively come up with a solution. Because a solution is always a solution, but an effective solution is something that eradicates the problem. And I think that, as for someone such as yourself, like a true leader, if I'm going to make a change, or if I'm going to have a solution to a problem, it's going to be a real solution that is true to the source of the origin of where the problem came from, not just a Band-Aid procedure or a quick fix, surgical, for lack of better words, to say, I'm just going to temporarily fix the problem and worry about the bigger problem later on. No, let's fix the real problem now, so that we won't have this problem ever again. So as leaders who, and this is why I love that you and I have this in common. Don't expect me to do what everybody else thinks is a good idea just because it'll satisfy everyone's temporary outlook on what makes us feel good about the fact that there was ever a problem to begin with. I'm going to do the most uncomfortable thing to make sure we never have the problem again, even if that means all of us have to temporarily adjust and get uncomfortable so that we can see the better versions of ourselves for the greater good of everyone. And that's because I'm saying this now because I look at what leadership is to others to see that they don't truly understand why we're required to lead the ways that we should be leading, not the ways that we were taught to be leading, because there's a big difference. So
but that's
hearing
like
you,
everything in life, isn't it?
yeah,
You've got to almost unlearn everything but then when we unlearn it, we're the rebellious. Why are they getting out of line? Because then you're going against the grain to improve. But is that what the world is trying to advertise?
Perhaps, but maybe not. So
Depends on what the topic
it depends. Right. You know what? I'm gonna read you something that, because I was texting my mom the other day. She sent me a message, right? And to everyone watching, people usually wouldn't say, "Oh, he's on his phone during the podcast." This is more than just a podcast. This is Zest to Zen. So we add a little zest to it, you know. So check this out.
Anything goes.
Right. So look, my mom said, she said, all we get is time and choices. Be wise with both. Sometimes we don't see things as they are. We see them as we are, which was a very powerful statement, because she sent me a photo of F.M. Alexander, who said, people do not decide their futures, they decide their habits, and their habits decide their futures. So I said, that's a good point, because a lot of people in life think that way. So, you know me, I always got a response. So I said, that's good wisdom. But I gave her Alvin Toffler's quote when he said, the illiterate of the 21st century will not be those who cannot read and write, but those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn. So what I told her was to consider this. And this is the first time, she's actually the first person to ever get this kind of wisdom from me. So now our audience is going to get this exclusive that I haven't shared with the world, which is me saying, our decisions in life are based on our stored knowledge and wisdom from the experience of life and understanding of reality in front of and around us. And then I said, our eyes and ears absorb what we see, and it programs our identity. So our decisions are not always decisions. They're reactive cognitions.
Whoa.
Yeah. A lot of people aren't truly prepared and ready to understand that level of revelation on who we are, because we don't just make decisions to make them. We make decisions out of a reaction to what we already understand about our internal and external reality inside and around us. If we can grasp that concept as human beings, we will understand life and each other a whole lot differently to come up with true solutions to solve the root problems that we all have, which is a lack of identity and knowing who we all truly are. I think we might have just gave him too much, Shel. We should be charging for this episode.
Well, yeah. You'll find this with DeAngelo. So basically, you'll probably have to watch it more than once.
Yeah.
But you'll have a moment where you'll just, something would just come to you, and you'll just be like,
Yeah.
And on that, because I know you said what was it you just said again? That was amazing. Cognate.
Reactive cognition.
Yeah. So I don't know why, but this just came to mind. But there was a painting in, there was a painting somewhere, and someone who analyzes them was looking at the painting, says it's all wrong, all the proportions are wrong, everything's wrong about it. And the lady says, okay, why do you say that? Because this is this, and she said, lie down. He's like, what? She said, lie down. So he lay down and looked up, and he went, oh, and she said, the painter created it lying down.
You never know what you will know until you look from a different perspective and angle.
And guess what? All the proportions were accurate in his agreement then.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah. Man,
Yeah.
I flew out of town because I've been taking like a little cool down in the break, but I went and saw who's it, Dr. New, right? And we sat and spoke with a young man in, I think this was Houston, Texas, right? We spoke with this young man who had opened up a vegan restaurant, and talking to him, because she's brought up in Buddhism and I'm brought up in the discipleship of Christ. And peace, as a believer and a disciple, peace is a fruit of the spirit. And having that relationship with her, we talked about peace from a Buddhist perspective. And someone to say that I'm a Christian would tell me that I wasn't supposed to do that. But listening to the relationship that I built with her over the past year and a half or so, however long it's been, and talking and understanding peace from a Buddhist perspective, but then also understanding it from our perspective, and then us both sharing it with that young man to give him a perspective on it, we both agreed that in our teaching of that lesson, we got a chance to show not just him, but whoever else was there listening, that if you just look at things from a different perspective, you can see that the reality that you see is not much different than the reality that it was intended to be from the very beginning. It's just, are you humble enough to admit within yourself that you're not right now? It seems as though you're right now, but you're not right now. You're right now because you want to be right, because you see a problem from the perspective of someone who wants to criticize the ignorance of your own mind, until you find, like for instance, the guy who laid down and he saw it from the painter's perspective. The painter painted it from that perspective with the intentions of being different. He knew someone would criticize it, but he gave them something that would eventually change their mind if they repositioned themselves.
And you know what I love, adding to that, I don't know if, because I wasn't there and I don't know if there was a plaque or something, but I like the idea that the painter doesn't tell them either. Just to make them think about it.
Yes.
Because also there would be an element of, they would have to start thinking about it, because you'd think, okay, if the proportions are all outside, then how did they do it? They would have to think. And I think that's the beauty of it as well, because I think often, sometimes we're just given the answer too soon.
Yes.
And then it doesn't almost have that respect, because the person hasn't really actually gone to the effort to really investigate it and work out the other person's perspective. And also from what you said, which I think is really, really powerful, is in being right, someone else is wrong. So that's you immediately saying you're all wrong and I'm right. And again, whose judgment is that?
Yeah. So here's something interesting about that, and I'm glad that you mentioned that. There's also the possibility of both people being right, but just right in two different worlds.
But that's the thing. In that this is one of the biggest things I've learned, is in you being right and calling someone else wrong, you are it's obviously quite complex, but I mean, in their eyes, they are right.
Yes.
Unless someone really, is manipulative or knows exactly what they're doing. But most people generally think they saw that or believe that, or, they do believe, most people do believe they're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When one of the greatest gifts and abilities, and I'm speaking from experience when I say this, because I'm someone who's able to put themselves in the mind of a woman, to think as a woman thinks, but also as a man thinks, because it's like a miracle that allows me to have a clear and sound mind. So to use an example, like a man who believes that something's wrong with the woman because of the way that she's acting, after she delivers a baby. But I understand that what postpartum does to a woman, or what delivering a child does to a woman. Like, I don't know if you remember the video game Sonic, but if you collect a bunch of the little gold rings, and if you finally land on one of the spikes, all the coins just splash out everywhere. So a woman,
really good example.
yeah. So when a woman's, her hormones, her faculties, everything is just everywhere, and she's trying to gather everything all over again, and it's almost impossible, because, you know, like, a part of the woman is being put into the child, the same way the man is a part of the woman and the child. So it's so much that people don't understand from other people's perspectives, because they believe that they're right. It's so unfortunate how we can walk through life and be misunderstood by people who don't know what it's like, or understand what it's like for us to have to be who we are, or who we're created to be. And it's actually very selfish to not consider that someone else has to be the way that they are created to be, to make whatever system or structure work for order to be in place the way that it was designed and created to be in place. It's so amazing that, you know, we miss out on how beautiful everything is when we think that it's all about ourselves, you know?
Yeah. I'm still held on that example because it's really bad.
Yeah.
No, because like, when you think about it, you know, like, even if it's intentional, often it is still a surprise when it happens. The whole body changes. Like, again, it's such an internal thing. And then it's almost like, I know this sounds really dramatic, but it's almost like something's being taken off your body. And it's not being replaced. And then just think as well, that precious thing that you've been, you know, growing and caring for and loving and protecting is now all of a sudden out for everyone to touch and see and feel, and yeah, it's almost like everything is completely out of your control then. Like, you still want to be the protective mama, and I know it is both sides, it's not just a mum, but it's like, now, you know, like, it is in a safe little cave in your womb, and now it's, you know, everywhere and everything, and people are coughing and all this stuff's happening, and that's intense.
You know, I'd ask a woman who goes to that experience. I'd ask a woman, I know you know, I would tell her, you know, like, I know you feel like a part of you's been missing, but what can I do for you to help you replace what's been taken from you? What is it that you need from me to restore the part of you that's been taken from you? And how much of it do you need? You know, these are things that men don't think to ask. They forget that woman missing a part of herself when she has that child, just to give something new to the world. So it's, you know, it's being able to communicate the other person's language. You know what I mean? Like, even for a man, like for a woman to ask, hey, how can I take care of you while you take care of me? You know, like, being able to ask the right questions, knowing that you're in it together. You know, like, it's that part of life that people don't think about, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So I know that there's a lot about to happen now that more people are finding out about this book series, because I got some ads that I haven't put out yet, and I think I want to just, because I made another one. I think I want to go ahead and put the second one out, as provocative as it is. I think I want to start some trouble. I don't know. What you think?
I feel like people listening right now might not get your humor as much as I know your humor, and he's not in trouble. He means trouble in the most impactful, inspiring way. Yes. I think actually something for people listening that I know that you do, and you're so humble with it. But what's your take on building a legacy when in the societal sense of it, not being so seen, even though you are? Do you know what I'm trying to say? So with the social media and all that, like, because, you know, beyond the titles, beyond all the the likes, the follows and all that. Like, I think that's a really inspiring thing for you to talk about, because that's the thing. We've gone into, and people can go and look at your website and all that, but you are literally building. Well, you explain. It's your empire.
It's not. It's an empire that was given to me from God to give to you all.
And
you
this
know,
is
like,
another thing, which is, when he says, cause some trouble and all this. This man is so godly. Like, I'm just gonna put this out there, okay? Even when we first connected, this, like, even without knowing me, he prayed over me. And when I say, like, I am, it's up to him, but I feel like a beautiful end to this podcast would be whatever comes through, if the audience want to receive it, like a prayer at the end or something would be really, really powerful, I think. But I really want you to see him in action, because like what he says, he is so connected, and something is just powerfully coming through him. And no, I think you should be recognized and celebrated for that.
I'm humbled by that, and I do appreciate you recognizing that, like seeing that version of me, because a lot of people don't have the opportunity or haven't been exposed to me in that way. They may not even know that part of me exists, but it's always active, and it's one of my greatest gifts and blessings to be that connected to who God is as a creator, who he is as a Lord, as a king, as a deity, as an energy, as a field of frequency, as a universal consciousness, as everything that he is beyond what my words can say or speak to describe who he is. God is just, there's no words that we can say out of our mouths to truly describe just how supreme and omniscient, omnipotent, omnipresent he is. I call him Omni because he is literally just beyond what I can comprehend. But in my comprehension of him, I know that the things that come out of my mouth are spoken of a place of love, to pour into others, to permeate who they are in such a way that we all can exist in this world together. Because God, I love you, and I love who you are to me and who you've made me to be for everyone in the world. Because this assignment that you've given me to build the world to become a better place is not something that I take lightly. And I thank you for everyone who's watching, everyone who's listening. Lord, I thank you for the zeal that you have given me for you, the love that you have given me for you. It says in the Bible, spoken through your son Christ, that the first commandment is to love God with all thy heart, all thy soul, all thy mind. And the second is like unto it, to love thy neighbor as thyself. On these two commandments hang the entire law. And for that, in that law, I seek you first, in the kingdom of God, through all your righteousness. And all these things that have been added unto me, I give back to you, God, to give to your people. Because all of it and all of us belong to you. And I thank you for who you are as Adonai, Elohim, Yahweh, Yeshua, Jehovah, Christ, Jesus, El Shaddai, my God, Omni. And I pray these things in your son, Jesus' name. Amen. And with that, this empire that he's given me to share with you all in the world, because it's a different world of life that I live in, building these organizations that I'm a leader of. With not just myself, but with my wife and my children, with beautiful friends that I have like you, that I'm just so spiritually connected to, with other people in the world that I found and met, that, we build this thing silently. We don't get on social media the way we used to. We've decided that if people see us, they'll see us. We'll show up and we'll do our job. We'll bring energy into the room. We'll bring love into the room. We bring life into the room. We make a difference everywhere we go. Hence the company name, Different Reasons. Different Reasons Incorporated. That's not just branding. That's legacy. Something to, that we've created as a human race, as a human population, to make a difference in other people's lives in a way where people can't recognize it. It's almost like when we show up, we show up. It's almost like if you see us, you see us. If we don't, we don't. But we show up and do our job, and then we're gone again until we're needed again. Kind of like an angel, my first name.
I actually called you. What do I call you? This, by the way, I called you this the first time I ever met you, before I even knew you properly. What did I call you?
An angel.
DeAngelo.
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 um,
Yeah.
and it's really interesting that I felt called to say that because I don't know, I just felt like sharing that, and it's interesting that you shared that that's not a part of you that you share with people, because I
Correct.
believe that the way you just did that shows that it was your time to, I believe, to show it.
Yes.
And also just to add to that, because I feel like, because you spoke so beautifully about your other friend who is a Buddhist, and when we first connected, obviously you are very godly and very connected, you're Christian, and I was very honest from the start, wasn't I, that
Yes.
I was
Oh,
very
yes.
spiritual. I didn't even like saying the word God, things like that. But this shows how incredible this man is, because we had very aligned, connected conversations which were from two very different perspectives. But I felt, and I would love your perspective on this, we actually grew and we learned from each other. And I realize now, and I don't know if you probably picked up on it through messaging and voice noting, but I didn't realize that I was always connected to something greater than myself, but I was very uncomfortable with the word God just because of how it's depicted. And I would say anything but it. I'd say the divine, I'd say the universe, I'd say whatever. But, and this again is not to any listener listening to say that whatever you call or whatever you believe, this is just my perspective. But I believe sometimes absolutely the word God is really, really powerful. But I also believe that because it's such a powerful energy and consciousness, it's something we use often to make our human mind make it feel like it's tangible and understandable. And again, that's not saying that's definitely not saying that the word God or Jesus or any of these powerful names are not taken seriously, because I do actually call the higher consciousness God now. But I do believe that it, like what you said, is something so greater, something so beyond us. When you kind of say, for me, and it doesn't matter about gender, but when the word God comes, it seems like a kind of a man, and like a man energy, and you do this or you'll get in trouble. I know that's not what it is, but that's how it's been depicted to me. And I think that's why I couldn't relate to it, because to me it felt controlling, whereas it was never meant to be like that. And I just believe, I now know and believe, whether we call it God or not, that it's love. It's all love.
It's love. Yes.
And anything that's not love, like this and that, or you will do this if you don't do that, anything that I feel is control, is, my personal opinion, is not God, because God is love, and God loves all. And the reason how I know this, and again, this is my opinion, is because you see these testimonies of people who did bad things, really bad things, but you know what? They then turn to God, or they turn to prayer, or whatever they turn to, and what that means, that they're bad forever. What's the point? No, there's no point. No, because they found their way in the end. They remembered who they are at their very, very core.
You can't. Love is something that can't be resisted. It breaks you down. The more you resist it, the more it will break you down, and it gets you to that place of submission, to finally acknowledging what and who and where and why and when and how the source of it exists. Like your example that you gave when you and I first connected, how truthful and honest you were in the building of the relationship. since from that very moment, you know. And I'll tell people, I'm not ashamed to tell anybody, when I first met you, it's like I've known you my whole life. and we've grown into being able to get each other to understand the worlds that we live in, because what you understand, even if you may have communicated it differently than I did, I always sought to understand you. And I believe that's what separates people, is a refusal to get an understanding on who people are, why they are, how they are, and why they understand what they understand. You know, it's like the monks who decided to walk through America. They left their place of consecration to make a demonstration. And even those who interrupted them, they did not treat them harshly or disagree with them in a way that war had to be waged. They understood that they just wanted to do something to demonstrate something that we all need, which is peace, through an act of love that came from a sacrifice of time. It came from a sacrifice of their bodies. They're displaying the same behaviors that Christ displays himself when he talks about peace and living peaceably amongst others in this world. So when we look at, you know, who we are, and this is one of my favorite things about why I am a disciple of Christ, of Jesus, because me loving through, he says that he's the way, the truth, and the life. No man comes to the Father except through him. He's not saying that you need to bow to him and be, no. He's saying, take on my beliefs, take on my behavior, take on my lifestyle, and show love to everyone, and it will open doors. It opens doors for you to connect with people, and you wouldn't even want to do anything wrong or think anything wrong or feel or say anything wrong to anyone. You will try to understand where they're coming from, and if you can't get an understanding, you just move on. But at some point in time in life, you'll connect with that person again. And even you and I, you know, it's so funny that we didn't always agree on everything, but it didn't stop me from reaching out to you to talk to you, and it didn't stop you from reaching out to me to talk to me. It's so funny, like, when people want to have things their way, they fail at the assignment of us loving one another. Because at the end of the day in this life, that's the one thing all of us want and are chasing and are just longing for, is unadulterated, uncompromised, unconditional love.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. He didn't, oh, I'll speak to you, but I'm not going to speak to you. Oh, I'll touch your hand, but I'm not going to touch your hand. He, you know, was an exceptional, incredible person who was just pure love.
Yeah. He made himself available for those who wanted to experience what his love could do for them.
Yeah.
And that's the best part. And that's why I've chosen that life, because it connects me with people all over the world. Like, I love going to different. Shel, I was in the Netherlands with a friend of mine who lives in. Well, he may have moved. Matter of fact, I talked to him yesterday. I should have asked him, but he lives in Germany now. And whenever I'm over there, we hang out and just walk, travel Europe, hang out, and just kind of talk with people. And one time we were in the Netherlands, and a guy, he was riding his bike. We were, in the shopping district of Amsterdam, and he, we were walking by. He was on his bike, and I looked at him, and we both spoke to him. He stopped his bike, turned around, and he said, you two men are the first people who spoke to me the entire day. And he looked like he was homeless. He didn't look like he had anything. He looked like someone who lived on the streets. And having that experience with him, just seeing him receive the love that we had to give him, just to acknowledge the fact that he existed, that changed his entire day. And by the time we saw him, it was 10, 11 o'clock at night. We just walking around, just enjoying, when we were younger, how we used to hang out at the bars and stuff, and just seeing other people do what we used to do. It's like, wow. And I couldn't believe that we were the first two people that spoke to him. We didn't have the same color skin, didn't have the same hair. We looked like two completely different human beings. Yeah. But we were the first people to speak to him. And that spoke volumes to me about the condition of the global society that we live in, where everyone's just in their lane and forget that others are here with us.
Yeah, and I'm really happy that you brought that up, because I had a big realization. I know he was on a bike and stuff, but about particularly homeless people. And again, this is just what I felt from it. Doesn't mean it's my truth. It doesn't mean it is the truth. But I realized something, that if people had money or they wanted to help, they would acknowledge the person. And I realized what we're forgetting is we make it about us and not them. Because even when I don't have, I look and I smile and I say hello. And I actually know most of their names because they are a person. And I might not be in a position to give, but that's the difference. Is I notice when people feel uncomfortable or guilty or these lower vibrational energies of, you know, shame, whatever. And they might not even know that that's what it is. It could be really unconscious, but I notice they will do anything. They'll fumble in their bag. They'll look over there. They'll just will not make eye contact. Whereas sometimes, like what you say, all they want is for someone to say hello to them, acknowledge them, you know?
Yes. I'm not sure if you know Michelle Smith. In fact, you might not, but I'm going to connect you with her, because what you just said, her and I had this conversation probably about a year ago today. And we both agreed that if you see someone and you feel like there's something that's compelling you to talk to that person, say something, because they need you to speak to them. And maybe they need you to speak to them so that they can tell you something that you need to know about yourself, because we're all going through life teaching each other. We're not just here just experiencing what this is. We're not here to live it up and earn a lot of money and try to compete with each other to make it out. No, like, we're here to help each other discover who we all truly are. And that's the mission that a lot of people in the world are choosing to fail at, because we don't have to fail at that assignment. We choose to, because we're programmed into believing that it has to be a different way. You know, it has to be the way that the radio or the music or the television or entertainment or movies tell us. And, you know, this, and mind you, this is script writing. This is intellectual property programming our brains in whatever way we're receiving it to show us a part of ourselves, which leads us back to having to unlearn and figure out why we even got that lesson to begin with, you know?
Yeah.
So it's amazing. It's, you know, there's so much that I can say, but if I could say anything above all, I love that God created me to be the person that I am, to tell people what I know and to share what I have to share and to pour into others, but also to be on platforms like the Zest to Zen, where you get a little spice of poetry before you even get involved in the episode to find out what you're gonna find out, because you never know what you're gonna find out when you're dealing with Shel Marie, the one. And it's like someone who's just one of one. People truly don't know what they're going to get when they watch the podcast that you know this, and to be experiencing this with someone like you, to know, like, man, there's someone else out in the world who's doing this work with me. It makes me feel like I'm not alone, because if I can't pour into someone, I know someone that can, and I know exactly who to get on the phone to do it. You know, like, that's amazing.
And you know, with you saying that, it's actually made me really realize something, because I have so much love and respect for my listeners that you actually just made me feel an extra depth and a realization that even though, yes, you can see the write-up and all that, if people even read that, but even in that, for most people that probably listen to my podcast, like, are, you know, on that similar, you know, awakening consciousness or whatever, because some of them are quite out there, not all of them, but like what you say, you don't ever know what you're going to get. And so it actually makes me realize that I honor and trust, and I honor them so much more because they trust what the unfolding is going to be. They trust that it's going to be high vibrational. They trust that they're going to leave feeling empowered, I hope. And that's the beauty, because essentially everything is an exchange. So every time we listen to that song, we turn on that TV program, we put on that podcast, we are exchanging whether we like it or not. Of course, if we're more conscious of it, we can decipher it a little bit more. But often most people aren't like, and this is why, and there's nothing against it, but that's why I personally don't have things just playing in the background, because when it's playing in the background, you're not consciously connecting to whatever's going on behind you. And I'm not saying it's doing something, but over time, if there is the same advert playing or the news playing or something, you don't know how much you are absorbing. And you know, just little things like, you could just change your day and you don't know why. All of a sudden you feel really emotional, or you feel really this, or you feel really that. And that's why, just for me, I'm very conscious about my environment and I'm very intentional with what happens in my environment as much as I can. Obviously, you know, that's my own environment.
Yeah. So one of the things that, and I'm going to say this now because I believe it's important to say, is you say if people read the write-up, and you know, I believe that they should. It's important to read the write-up because you want to really understand, you want to truly understand like who you're, like who's, not just what audience you're a part of, but you want to be able to connect with what's really like the meat of why you're even watching this episode or any episode. As a matter of fact, I would encourage anyone who's watching this episode to start over and watch it again, just to really listen and pay attention to what we're saying, because we're not saying something that people just commonly get on the internet and say, which is another reason why we don't, you know, or at least I don't too much promote, you know, with ads and on social media platforms, and I might start doing it, but having just something exclusive to connect with, to where you know where you found it and it's not scattered everywhere, you know. And that's exactly why I got away from social media. For one, I don't have time for it. Two, I don't really like this. It's not really a real place, but meeting people and having real relationships, so when people connect with me or they connect with you, they know why they're doing it. You know, like we're both in this, having this experience right now in this moment, and you're having your own experience, I'm having my own experience, and we're having an experience together, and everyone's watching and is getting a completely different experience. We're bringing them into this moment in time that's never coming again. So if this moment, when we do put it all out over the internet, and or you know, and people, more subscribers come and more people inquire about Zest is in, or want to know more about you and more about me, like they know why they're connecting with this moment in time. Because we're not doing this just to be doing it. We're not doing this to be seen. We're not doing this to be heard. We're actually making a difference in people's lives. And we're doing it so quietly and silently that people don't even think, or they may not even believe it's happening. And then they look up and be like, wow, these people really made a difference. Well, we kind of told you, but we didn't have to. We just kind of wanted you to experience it that way, because that's what authenticity is. We don't have to pretend or convince you that we're doing the work. You'll know that we're doing the work when we change your life and you figure, you know, man, I would have never thought that I would have become this person by meeting Shel Marie. Man, I would have never thought I would become this person by meeting Dr. DeAngelo Richardson. Oh man, I would have never known that I would be on the Zest is in podcast. So I never would have known that I would be at an event to finally meet these two people who just said just a few words that actually changed my life, to show me that I'm much more of a beautiful, creative person, or a free-spirited person, than everyone has made me to believe all my life. Like that's what these moments are about. Like we're not just saying these things out of our mouth just to say them. In fact, it might not even be us saying it. It could just be the Holy Spirit that's so pure of love that's speaking through us to connect with these people's ears in a way that they have never heard it said before. It's so many different avenues of approach to look at what's happening right now. But you know, we're gonna do what we do. and I say that humbly, you know, because we don't always want to do it, but we do it anyway.
But I think that's the beauty as well, because as much as you can watch someone connect with someone, ultimately you are the one who has the master key. You are the one who gets to choose who you are in that very moment. And what I've really noticed is when you really become more conscious and you become more intentional and more purposeful in what you're doing, the world gets so loud.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm not saying you don't get ease and flow, but I believe it's a part of building you and your character and your strength. Because when you really start remembering who you are, you will really, 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 after years and years and years of being told you're something so different to what you are, you will really have to show the strength of, whether you like to use that word or not, of your soul. Because I believe, you know, if everything was just easy to achieve, then we'd all do it. But we won't really have that fulfillment. Whereas when you truly trust and you awaken to something, it's not always comfortable. It's not always easy. I'm not saying that your life's going to become uncomfortable, but trust me, it will be worth it.
Yeah.
It's so worth it, because it's almost like, and I'm not saying this is for everybody, but it's almost like you're confused, and it's so chaotic inside. But the moment you're like, okay, enough's enough, and you start awakening to like things, this starts to become quiet. This becomes so loud.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the peace you have in here transcends all of that external noise.
Yeah. That's that divine alignment where you talk where we talk about how the body, mind, heart, spirit, soul all aligns as a fivefold system, and because once it aligns, it's locked. It's locked, and whenever it tries to get unaligned, it's like oh man, this is where I am now. Good.
Yeah. You remember on the January at this time? What? No, not me. I didn't.
Yeah. Yeah. As much of a, because it's a challenging experience to accept that that's what it is. But once you get there, it's like, oh man, how could I, like, and I say that for myself. I don't want to go back. I love divine alignment. I love it.
But I would love your take on this, like, whether, I know there's all these terminologies. I think we just use these terminologies just so people can grasp them and understand them. But like dark night of the soul and stuff. Basically, your life is an absolute beep show. Okay, everything's like messed up. And I remember I never knew about Pandora box, and then all of a sudden this Pandora box like theory or whatever you want to call it came to me, and I went, that is what's happened in my life. And it was almost like, you know, I was wandering around most of my life so confused, you know, and then, you know, everything just crashed down. And I know I'm saying this in a very comical way, but trust me, it was not nice. And then I remember it was almost like I opened this box and was like, oh. And then I was like, no. Like, I was trying to sit on the box. I was trying to throw things on the box. And I just wanted to run away from it as much as possible. I wanted to go back just to being in those settings where I just was confused and just getting on with it and doing what everyone else was doing. But I really, really, really mean this. Like, stay resilient, stay persistent, keep showing up, keep doing the work, because I tell you something, what you achieve by it's the clarity you get is worth it. It's like gold. It's like you discover a secret, but you won't know it's the secret until you get to the other side. I know I'm speaking very cryptic here, but people, if you know, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And some of you will soon know.
That's that part where where in the Bible where Jesus says, I come that you may have life and life more abundantly. And it's beyond like possessions. It's true, like just it's just it's enlightenment, and it's like when you breathe in and out, it's almost like you're breathing living water. It's like
Yeah.
everything that flows from you and in you is just like it's
Yeah.
it's invigorating. It's like you can't explain it. It's that powerful. It's like everything you touch, just life just comes to it.
Yeah, everything is brighter, more vibrant,
Yes. Yes.
and instead, like before, I feel like everything was so tunneled vision. It was like doot, 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 and it was like just oh, this way, and I just felt like, you know, oh. Whereas now it's like you look at the world, but you see so many different unfoldings all at once, and you get to
Yeah.
pick which one you want to put your attention into. You know, do
Yeah.
I want to put my attention into the scene that's happening there, and there's, you know, it's exciting, there's drama, there's chaos, or do I want to look at that person who's just enjoying themselves? Whereas
Yeah.
before, you'd only go to whatever seemed like the predominant energy, or like chaos or something, you know?
Yeah.
And you'd just be almost like blindsided, and then you'd just spent so much of like your time and energy into something that was nothing, was of no importance to you.
Yeah.
And I just feel like now, like my days are so much more intentional, and I believe as well, and this is not for everyone, but there will be times where your life does not reflect what you know, what you really know is for you, and what is coming. And that again, I think, is like to show, have you really got that inner peace? Because can you be in this situation right now and still feel love, still feel gratitude, still see the best in that situation, despite all that is unfolding around you? And I think that's when you've really done the work.
Yes. It's you can't resist showing and experiencing when you finally get the revelation on what it actually is. And it's freedom. And it's internal freedom, where knowing what's inside of you is everything. And knowing why what's outside of you is outside of you, and it aligns with whatever exists within you, because you know what to do with what you see. And what sees you understands that, you know, why you're there. And it's again, there's no, we can talk from top to bottom, left to right, about all of this over and over again, from each cardinal and ulterior cardinal direction. We could talk about it day and night, but it's truly an experience, the legacy experience. It is it's an experience of legacy, and it never dies, because everyone gets an opportunity to experience it for what it truly is. And I don't even know how that came about, because you mentioned something about legacy earlier, moments ago in this podcast, and we never even got that far into it, but we're here now. You know, you see how stuff just align, like, you know, it's so funny. But that's what it is, building the legacy from the inside, because that's where it all begins. That's where the kingdom is. That's where the innovation is. That's where the freedom is. That's where the alignment is. That's where everything is internal. It is an experience of legacy that can be produced from even nothing. I'm talking about just us. Oh man.
But that's the embodiment, because think about this. There's a difference between, oh, I'm building a legacy, going into a building or whatever, and and then, you know, whatever. Embodiment is generational, because you are what you are creating. You are speaking, which is then going, filtering into your children, filtering into your whoever is around you, you know. And because you are the embodiment, that is how the legacy is created. Because a legacy isn't just, oh, I'm going to do this book now, and there you go, there's my legacy. Or it's showing up every single day, even even more so when you've got this resistance, you've got all this chaos around you, you've got nothing seeming to happen, because that's the beauty of a legacy. A legacy isn't a 1 year project.
Yeah. Sounds like a mic drop moment. That sounds like a mic drop moment, because it's all about like we're talking about love, we're talking about leadership, we're talking about servitude, and we're talking about legacy coming into full manifestation because you've decided to be it rather than trying to strive to create or obtain it, to achieve it. Be legacy, be love, be leadership, be servitude, be divine alignment, be centered, be energy, be the frequency. Don't find the frequency or look for the frequency. Be the frequency, because the frequency will find you. Be like God, be like Christ, be like whatever it is that brings the beauty of life out of you. Be it, and it will attract itself to you.
Yeah.
You just burned up the mic, Shel. I don't even know if we got anything else to say. Like, you just said it, you know.
No, but in fairness, like, I believe that when you connect with aligned people like that, I feel like this always happens with us. I don't ever think it's me. I feel like it's a combination of the empowering conversation that we're having, whether and you know, whether some of it makes sense or not, because I know this about me and DeAngelo. We do a little bit speak, we were talking about this, a little bit like, not in riddles, but I feel like sometimes, like what we say, like even the first time we met, it's almost, again, I'm going to say that word soul, but it's almost like we already knew each other on a soul level before even really knowing each other. And so I feel like often a lot of our communication isn't always in words, and we're speaking about things that it's quite in depth, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. You know, they don't even know that we've done projects together, like real, you know, like real, because this is just right now, this is just us on the screen, but there's a lot of behind the scenes things that go on that you and I do together that people don't even know about, like planning the one of the legacy experience events in Pichu Machu, or Machu Picchu, or Stonehenge, like just to like have those like real life experiences. And you know, of course, there's only so much we can do because those are organized monuments, but coming up with the ideas and actually making this stuff happen to bring people into those moments so that they can feel that vibration being raised too. Because everything we do and everywhere we go, we add energy to that place. Like there's not anywhere that we go or anywhere we can go where our presence isn't felt, because we're there for the right reasons. We're not there just to be there to soak up and drain and get everything that we can get out of that moment. No, we're pouring everywhere we go. We're pouring and pouring and pouring. You know, I went to when I was in Wisconsin, I went and listened to a live band play, and they said they didn't expect for anyone to show up. They were just happy to see us there, and just bringing that into their space to make their moment more than what they anticipated. That's not just, it doesn't just happen just to happen. It's happening because we understand the assignment before we even get to the location. They get a chance to experience it when we show up, even if we're not the main attraction for the moment, or if we're not headlining, or if we're not the ones orchestrate. Like it's in us. It's not just who we are, it's what's in us that people they're drawn to. And it's almost as if they feel like they have to take more from us, but it's there for us to give. You don't have to take this energy and this love and this frequency and this vibration and this universal experience that we're given. You don't have to take it from us. You're getting it just because you're there. Experience the moment that you have with us while you have it, because when we're gone, we're gone.
I think that's also a really important point that you've just mentioned, because I think in all that you're doing, and I know everyone is different, but I know that a clear indication for me about alignment is my energy. If I'm having a conversation with someone, like, we'll apologize beforehand because we don't know how long this is going to be, but usually we talk for like 3 hours and it feels like 10 minutes, but we'll try not to do that today. But I never feel drained after speaking to you. I feel uplifted. I feel energized. And considering we you know, we're not just like having very surface level conversations, we're having quite deep, you know, sometimes very high wisdom conversations. So it's like, normally, you know, when you go to these events and you're just like, kind of like, I need to lie down, you need to be questioning that, because really when you go somewhere, when someone really has that purest intention and they're really, you know, infusing the environment with what they have to offer, whether that's their energy, their words, their whatever, you should leave feeling empowered. You should leave feeling uplifted. You should leave feeling energized, not deflated or tired, or and I feel like that's alignment. Obviously, again, it's discernment, like, because if you go to an event and there's multiple speakers, that you can't measure it on that, because everybody has different energies. But and say it's been a long day, but if you've gone to truly like connect and watch with one person, or you're having that conversation with your friend or anyone, and you leave feeling like drained, that to me usually is a clear sign of misalignment.
Yeah, definitely. If it's not adding more life to you, then it's there to take it away. It's there to take it away.
And it's not saying that those interactions are bad. It's not saying there's something wrong with that person. It just means that you just aren't on the same wavelength.
Yeah.
And you know, and there are people in our life, you know, that you know, you just know that that's what the experience will be, but you go into it knowing that. But on the whole, if you're interacting or having experiences with the majority of people and you are feeling exhausted and drained all the time, you need to be checking in with yourself, I think.
Yeah. There's somewhere within yourself you might be bleeding and not know it.
And overgiving and potentially people pleasing.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. We just said it at the same time. I feel good, you know, like I don't know what I'm about to do after having this conversation with you, because this is just like, I think we get into this place of just really giving what's in us to everyone, and we love to do it, but not in a way where we're compromising ourselves, you know. But I know that I have to go forward in this day, and someone else is going to need me as well, you know, just like your audience needs you right now with this episode, and got me as a bonus.
Now you're the guest.
Yeah, I'm the plus one today.
How many plus? I've got. Oh, by the way, your episode is 111, so I've had 111 plus ones. No.
3 ones.
I knew you'd like that.
You knew, yeah, you knew it. Look. Yeah, yeah, this has been a blessing spending this time with you. As always, it's always a blessing to spend any kind of time with you, no matter what we're doing. This is one of my favorite things to see, to continue to experience these moments that we create for others. It's such a reward. So I definitely appreciate having this time with you, and I appreciate whoever has watched this. Who's ever watching, just to get through having this opportunity for us to pour into them. I never take these moments for granted, and I'm not one of those people who are so high up that I'm not down to earth. So I want you to know, like, I have so much, like, a tremendous amount of love for you and what you do for others, because you show up time and time again, and we see you, Shel, just like you see us, and I love that it's you that God is using to make a difference in people's lives in only a way that you can. Everybody can't do what you do, and even when they try, it doesn't work, because there's only one Shel Marie. There's only one Zen to Zest podcast, and who you are as a human being, you can't be duplicated. Even if they made a movie out of you, they wouldn't be able to write a script powerful enough to describe how beautiful of a woman you are and how strong of a human being you are. So thank you for giving me this time with you. I sincerely appreciate having this moment.
And everything is like a mirror, and I know that's a really sounds like, but you have really, I believe, like, I was reflecting like today before the podcast, and even just connecting with you, and I think that's why I shared about the start of how we met, because it shows that when you give someone grace and you just don't always listen to the words or their beliefs or their thoughts, their feelings, but you connect heart to heart and see the good in that person, gems will be revealed. So it's really, and I feel like that's one of your beautiful gifts, is like that you can see beyond often even the season, the phase, the stage that the person's at, because you were speaking powerful things to me before even anything. Like, I don't even think Zest and Zen existed when we first met each other. Like,
no, it didn't.
No. And I remember you was just saying things, and I was like, who's he talking about? Oh no, then he went to take his my jumper.
Yeah.
But I was like, but and again, it's not stroking the ego, but even like what we said, like we were so sometimes on different pages, but still understanding each other. But that's the beauty of it, is people enter your life for a reason. And I think in this society and world that we're in now, not just dating, but like, I think people too easily not like give up on the other person, or place their own beliefs and their own thoughts, or try to work them out, when actually you don't need to work the person out. You just need to just be curious and just think, okay, this is how do I feel again? How do I feel afterwards? Do I still feel good afterwards? And sometimes these conversations where you don't say the same thing are the most empowering, because they have the most transformation.
Yeah, definitely. I can connect with that. Well, it's not like I have a choice, because we're in alignment, so.
Yeah. Like, I can't say the example right now, but for example, there was something that happened in my life recently, and I didn't express it to anyone, and I didn't even speak to DeAngelo. No, or did I leave him a voice note? I don't know, but I messaged something, and I messaged something, I didn't even speak to him, and he sent back the answer to what had happened in my life.
I remember that.
And I was like, what?
Like, who is this man? How does he know this? It reminds me of a movie, 007, Casino Royale, when he knew her password, and when she found out that I forgot what her code name was, but she was pretty much his supervisor. But when he was logged into a laptop, he was logged into her personal information, and she said, "How does he know these things?" That was what played in my mind. I'm like, I wonder if Shel figured like, how does he know this? Like,
yeah, I definitely didn't do this.
Yeah.
No. But yeah, I kid you not, I nearly fell off the chair. I was like, that is and yeah. So if there's any message that we could leave you with today, really just be curious about the people that have entered your life, and you never know. Like, we still even don't, like, we know we've got this really empowering connection, but again, we don't know fully the extent to why or what's still to unfold. Like, we've made plans, and we've got many collaborations in order, but even that's never secure. You never know how or when or what could happen in your life. So just really be curious and open-hearted, and try to see the good in the world. Like, try to see there's a good reason why you're connected. So with that in mind, because I don't want to use up much more of your time, if there's one last message that you feel like someone listening right now would really benefit from hearing, what would you tell them?
Ooh, that's a good one. I'll do this, because one message is always more than enough, but I'm gonna give two. Live life as if love is the only thing you have left, because in love is where you find God, and God is where you find everything else in this world and in this life. And if there's anything in your life that you have unresolved, look inward and resolve it, so that you can unlock who you were created to be. Seek ye first the kingdom of God and all his righteousness, and all this will be added unto you. Repent, for the kingdom is at hand.
Beautiful. And I actually think if we zoom back to the first thing you spoke about, which was sharing everything, when you literally have nothing to hide, no shame, no guilt, nothing to, that you don't want people to find out, then what can come of it?
You can't threaten or expose or defamate a person who lives fully in the spiritual conviction of who they are.
Yeah.
You have no power over someone. It's impossible. You can do whatever you want to do to them, but they are who they are, and those are the most powerful people that can ever walk this earth. And the beauty of it is that we're hidden until we decide to show ourselves. But when we show ourselves, you never want us to leave. And it's because of the humility that we walk in and the love that we express for not just God, but for everything he created that has a life in it.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, DeAngelo.
My pleasure, Shel. My pleasure.
DeAngelo.
So until they see me again, I'm out like an angel. And if they wanted to get in contact with me, I'll show up, as long as I'm summoned the right way. Kind of like an angel. You call on an angel, you get an angel.
And if in the meantime, you can read his book.
Yes, please read the book. Because you know what, Shel? I'm gonna send you the other. Never mind. We'll talk about it. Read the book, The Legacy Experience, the greatest in love story ever told in holy matrimony, is now available in over 51 countries and 40,000 retailers worldwide. It is the groundbreaking book series that will tell real, raw, and uncut, authentic life stories about a man and a family, all built on the love of God. It's gonna be fun. A lot of hidden secrets and gems in these books. Like, yes.
Thank you.
My pleasure, love.